A home for me is just security. It's a sanctuary. It's a place that I can come together with my family and just enjoy each other's space and each other's time and leave the world behind. Once we close that front door, then the stress of the day is out there, not inside the house.
I just loved visiting my grandparents and being in that house. And I used to go outside sometimes in the yard, and they had wild raspberries and wild blackberries. And so I would go out and pick the berries, and I was supposed to bring them in for my grandmother to make pies. I think I ate more than I brought in.
There was this one Christmas when my parents didn't have a lot of money, and I remember my dad went to the hills and found this old just branch with this big branch with no leaves or anything. He brought it home, he put it in a bucket with some sand, and he painted it white. And that was our Christmas tree. And it is the only Christmas tree I remember out of all the other ones I've ever had, fancy ones, you name it, whatever. That's the Christmas tree that it will always be with me. It was just my parents showing us that we didn't have to have a lot, but we could have, Christmas.
The bed and the dresser that my father made for me came from a walnut tree that was on my aunt's farm. They chopped down the walnut tree and took it to a mill and milled it into planks, and that's what my dad used to build the bed and the dresser that I've had ever since, and that my 11-year-old has in her bedroom now.
Home to me as a kid was always basketball in the driveway, football in the front yard, kick the can at night with the neighborhood kids, the tree house in the backyard I built with my best friend in the neighborhood.
I grew up believing that home is where you and your family are. It's not a physical thing as much as it is the connection to family. And calling Chapel Hill home is significant for us because for us, this is the first house we ever owned.
For me, having this home, especially coming from another country as an immigrant and all of that, being able to say that I own a little piece even of, the America is really, really cool.
I think I, like a lot of people, a lot of Americans, really grew up taking home for granted. I lived in the same house for my entire childhood, and it was not something I ever had to think about. Habitat for Humanity of Orange County brings people together to build homes, hope, and communities.
There's always that reminder, you're doing something bigger. You are not building houses, you are building somebody's home.
I can't wait to move in, it's my new home.
The year and a half that I spent working and performing my volunteer hours at doing and going and doing extra volunteer hours just because I like to do it, was kind of like, I had a goal, I had the goal in mind and it would eventually get there. And it became real, of course, when I got my keys. Every day when I walk home, I feel grateful.
After they move into their home, I think there really is a freedom that they find in living in their home, and now they get to really think about what did they want out of life and what is the next step for them. Maybe try for that job that I didn't think I could get, but look, I just did this. I'm now a homeowner. What else can I do in my life?